once upon a time, there was a little boy, and he loved art, and he wanted more than anything in the world to be a painter. Well, one day, he was walking down the street, and he saw a store, an art store, and so he decided to go inside and see what kind of art supplies he could get, so that he could start learning to do art. Well, he got himself some paint and some brushes, as well as some pencils and pastels and other things like that, and some canvases and paper and pencils and all that kind of wonderful art stuff. And he took it all home, and he started practicing. Started learning all about how to draw things and paint things, and he went and got books that taught about how to do art, and he started going to classes to learn about art. And as he grew, he became very, very good. And one day, he was walking down the street, and he realized he had not seen that art store in quite a long time. He'd been down the street many times, but for some reason he had never noticed that store again. Well, he was walking down the street once again, and he saw the store was there. He walked in, and it looked exactly the way it had the last time he'd been there when he was a kid. You can see now he was all grown up. And he walked up to the counter, and there was a little old man. And he seemed to remember the little old man from the first time he'd been in there. Strangely, the little old man still looked pretty much exactly the same as he had the first time that the boy had been in there. And so he said that he was looking for some more art supplies. The old man said, "Oh, yes, I remember when you came in here the first time years ago. Have you worked very hard?" And the boy, who was now a young man, said, "Yes, I have." "Have you become a good artist?" The boy said, "I think so." And the man said, "Well, then I have something for you." And he handed the boy, who was now a grown-up, a paintbrush, a very special paintbrush. He said, "This paintbrush is unlike any paintbrush you have ever had. And if you really are a great artist, if you really have worked as hard as you claim, it's going to do amazing things for you." And the young man thanked him and left. And as he was walking away, he looked back and wasn't quite sure, but he kind of had the feeling that the art shop wasn't there, that it was suddenly gone. But he kept on walking. He got home, he decided he was going to paint something. So he got out this paintbrush that he'd been given, and he started to paint. He painted a bird. And the bird looked so lifelike, he felt almost like he could reach inside the painting and take the bird out. And strangely enough, that's exactly what he did. He reached into the painting, pulled out the bird, and it was a real live bird, and the bird flew away out the window. The young man was very surprised. And so he decided to paint some Legos. Painted some Legos, and Legos fell out of the canvas. Then he painted a tree, and a small tree came out. He took the tree, went and planted it in his backyard. He'd never seen a tree like this before, so he was very interested to see what it would end up looking like when it grew. So he continued to do this. He started to paint things that he needed. He painted books that he wanted to read. He painted a dog, just the kind of dog he wanted, and brought the dog out of the canvas. He thought about painting a girl, but decided maybe he should try to just find a real one. A wise decision on his part. He also thought about painting money, but then he thought, well, no matter what, it's going to be artificial, counterfeit money, so he decided maybe he would not paint money. But he painted food, and he painted new art supplies, painted whatever he needed. And soon he had a house full of the things he needed. Then he looked out the window, and he saw a man walking down the street. The man was hunched over. He had old, ripped-up clothes, and the young man realized that this man was homeless. So he quickly painted a new coat, a nice warm meal, and a water bottle, and he ran them down and gave them to the man. The man thanked him, put on the nice new warm coat, ate the food, drank the water, and said thank you. The next day, as he was painting the things that he wanted, he looked out the window, and he saw a little boy who was walking around who had no shoes. So he quickly painted some shoes, pulled them out of the canvas, brought them down, gave them to the little boy, and the little boy was very happy. As time went on, he found himself painting less and less things for himself and more things for other people. And he found, much to his surprise, that something changed. He found that he was much happier than he'd ever been. See, he had been painting things for himself, and that had made him very happy, because he had all the things that he needed. But he found that when he started painting things for other people, even though it kind of surprised him when he was painting things and not for himself, that he actually was happier. So he continued to do that. For the rest of his life, from young man to the day to him getting married and having children, and then growing old, he found that as he used his magic paintbrush and painted things for others, he found that it made him very happy. And so, when he grew old and he finally died, his funeral was attended by more people than anyone could have imagined, because he had done so much good. And way at the back of the funeral, one person was standing there who nobody else recognized, but the man who with the magic paintbrush would have recognized as the little old man from the art shop, as he sat there smiling, very grateful that this boy, then man, then old man, had used his gift so wisely. The